The Woodfin is an apartment complex that we provide housing to individuals who have experienced chronic homelessness. And we're talking long term, so longer than a year. And we have on-site case management support. And we get to provide like hands-on, one-on-one, in the moment case management services to our residents.
It's an option for people who didn't have a housing option before. It's really filling that gap in our community to house essentially the unhousable. Our community didn't have an option for high needs clients, and now it has it. Now the people who had no housing option before do. It actually is the way that Homeward Bound can end homelessness in our community. We can actually do it now. I didn't think we could.
True.
I don't want to say we couldn't do it before, but really, we couldn't.
No, that's right.
We couldn't do it.
We didn't have the right mix of housing interventions. We didn't have an intervention for every demographic.
Yeah, and that's why I think this is it's so important, because now we can actually end homelessness in our community because we have the Woodfin.
It's a long-term housing option for people who haven't had another housing option in our community.
Well, I grew up in foster homes and orphanage in Black Mountain. And left when I was 15. I was on the streets for many a year. And I got into Homeward Bound. I lived in Woodfin, a mobile home. Then I moved up here to the Woodfin apartments, which turned out to be really good.
An amazing thing about the Woodfin is that it really proves that if we figure out the right intervention, people can be successful in housing. There's not some like inherent flaw in anyone that says they can't be successful in housing. But it's up to us as a community and as an organization to figure out what the right intervention is and what are the supports they need in order to be successful, which is what we've done at the Woodfin for the folks who live there.
When you first moved into the Woodfin, what was your kind of go-to way to resolve things?
Well, I usually try to take it upon myself, but me and Lana sit down and talk and stuff, Now if I have a problem, or stressing on something, I'll go talk to her.
What the Woodfin allows for our clients and residents to do is to kind of come together and move forward out of the journey of homelessness together. It's hard. It's a scary process. Everybody thinks, getting into a house is really easy, but there's a lot of things that come up once you get into housing. And so I think the Woodfin kind of gives them that ability to know that we were all here at one time and we're all moving forward together.
I mean, I know when I moved into my first apartment, there's so much stuff I didn't know.
Right.
I was like, Mom, Dad, you should have told me this stuff, But unfortunately, these clients didn't have that, and they didn't learn these skills. When you've been living outside for 20 years, you forget how to live inside.
You develop a lot of skills, actually, but they're survival skills. They're, you're building resources to stay alive outside. And so this is now an opportunity for people to build resources to stay alive inside, to figure out how to navigate neighbors and how to navigate utilities, how to turn the stove off after you've used it, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Not used to having a home, And then when I moved into Woodfin up there, I was kind of weary about that at first. But then, I've been up there for about 4.5 months now, and, I've got used to it, and everything's working out well.
I think it's more about a real sense of security and safety for the first time maybe ever. And a real sense of home, that this is not just, a shelter that's maybe letting me in for the night just because it's below freezing, even though I don't normally have access to this shelter. It's not that. It's no, this is your actual home. You get to decide who comes in here. You get to decide what comes in here. You get to pick your own stuff. This is your home.
And I think that makes a big difference because, it's not a temporary help. It is something that is long-term and helps people move forward. And we want to make sure that they have that support to move forward no matter what happens. So I like to tell people we're in it to win it. Right, Ronnie?
Right.
We're there forever.
If we really get clear on who the demographic is and what they need, then we can get clear on what the solution to that problem, that housing problem is, and create it. And so in addition to wanting to develop more projects like the Woodfin, I think it's teaching us to be nimble and flexible and adaptable in our model so that we're really building interventions that fit every slice of the demographic. That's the dream, right? That we have an actual housing solution to every housing crisis in our community. That no matter who you are, no matter what your situation is, your background, your behaviors, we believe that you can live inside. We just have to figure out, what supports you need in order to do that successfully.
I receive disability, and there's no way I could go rent a place on my check, and that's where Homeward Bound helped, to help me get an apartment.
They're pretty nice apartments.
Yeah, they are.
You have a pretty amazing view. Sometimes I just go up to Ronnie's apartment to see the view.
Yeah.
He hung up a bunch of pictures and it surprised me. But I was actually really impressed because you did that quick. It was like in a matter of a couple hours, I came up and the whole apartment had been transformed.
I like pictures up. That makes it feel more like home. That's what I do every morning. I get up. I make sure my house is clean when I get up. That's the way I was raised in an orphanage and stuff. I just carried it over. Even when I had a campsite, I kept it clean.
What I think I love the most about the Woodfin is the possibility for the clients.
Yeah.
That they have a place, that we now have a housing intervention for people we didn't have a housing intervention before. That does almost make me cry to think about maintaining. It's unbelievable.
People shouldn't live outside. People should live inside, and now we can do it.
And we can actually do it.
We can actually do it.
Yeah, and that's just what is just crazy to me. It's like, and I know I've said this over and over, but we can actually do this now. That is what I think has just changed everything for me. Is this year with the Woodfin project has really shown me that we can end homelessness in Asheville. We can do it. Homeward Bound can do it. And that's just, it's amazing, and it's amazing to be a part of it.
It's turned out to be a real good situation, Thank you.
Thank you for working with me. I know it wasn't easy to step into right away, but I think we're a pretty awesome team.
Right, I do too.